Alright, so the next portion of the build will be the secondary, or the third, I guess, the lower bridge of the ship, and some of the wings, as you can see here. We'll begin with this section. I'll put this part here. Alright. And the next one here. This pretty much constitutes the bottom part of this structure. There's a lot of notches here that you have to sand down, so I had to be very careful not to damage them. I'm going to probably resand them down again using a very, very light sanding sponge that I have there. So now we have this, and then you put these two little parts here. One goes here, I believe. Ugh. I gotta remember the orient. Oh, okay, now you gotta put it this way. Okay, that goes there. And then the other one goes here. May have to remove. Looking at this, I probably would want to paint this a little darker, like a black or grayish tone. So I may have to pop these out later on. I was going to glue them, but I'm glad I didn't. So we'll cover those soon. Then we put this here, so it looks like that. Now, simply put this one down here to complete the assembly of this. Then I have this red part here. It goes in the rear like so. And this one here, it connects like that. Alright. So that assembles the bottom part, red parts under the ship. So that completes that. I have some parts here. Whoops. Oh, here she is. Ooh. Actually, I'm going to need this guy. There's no orientation on this, so you can put them on like that. I always wanted to know what this is. I don't know if this is actually a lifeboat or something like that. Never seen it in the anime of what it was used for, but I was wondering what these were. In military ships, these could be the emergency lifeboat craft. Now I popped this out so I can show you these. They're all the same. Well, actually not all the same, to tell you the truth. They're almost, yeah, they're all the same, because I'm not seeing any differentiations. There we go. So this is what it would look like from behind the ship, and then taking this again, lining up with the little notch over here, it will look like that. Nice, isn't it? Might as well prepare this and show the front part of the ship, because we will need this part. What fell? Something fell. Unfortunately. Good. Fudge! I didn't realize yeah, I'll do it this way. It'll be a lot easier this way. So we have this part that goes here, like so. And this part that fell, one goes here, and the other one goes here. These are pretty much, I guess, those in the military navy, in naval ships, these are the ones that hold up the anchors. And speaking of the anchors, we have two parts here. I think they gotta go like that. And then there's a part that goes like this. It's held by friction, but I'm not liking how these are. These will definitely be glued on, so I'm just gonna hold them on for now, and then I'll glue them later on. And then one goes here. Where does that go? There we go. I believe I got it right. I'll put the other one later on because I can't flip it around. And then the last one is this little part here that goes like that. There we go. Alright. It's pretty nice. Cool. Very, very delicate parts, so you gotta be very careful. Alright, let's now move on to the next portion of this build. So the next part of the build, of course, is the primary and secondary main gun turrets of the Space Battleship Yamato. And I wanted to show you some things that's very unique about these guns. I don't have to worry about actually drilling a hole at the tips because they're already done for this one, for the secondary gun. But for the primary guns, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's rifled in a way. Check that out. That's kind of cool. Another thing, of course, is the possibility of actually putting LED lights on the guns. Don't know if that's possible or not. I can imagine if you take a pin vise and drill yourself a hole going all the way down the shaft to the end here, and maybe not putting an LED light here, but more like maybe putting in a fiber optic line, and then putting a light bulb in the base of the turret, where you set up some sort of rig where all the lights turn on and beam comes out of the end of the cannons. That would be a really cool concept. And even though I am exploring LEDs myself, I'm not familiar with fiber optics, nor the fact that I'm really not in the mood and don't want to risk damaging these parts if I begin drilling holes and then I screw up, because you have to be very, very accurate, straight, and narrow, and not deviate. And the last thing I want to do is drill and then go in an opposite direction, and I ruin the part. But I can imagine somebody out there, some modelers out there, may be interested in doing something like that. So that will be a cool idea. So let's begin with the smaller turret. There's only two parts here. Don't think you'll need LED lights for this. Put this one here. This one here. And put this one here. And there you go. These guns move up and down. Now, for the turrets here, there's these little this part here that I put on both of them, and the reason why I didn't put this one on, doing this, showing on camera, is I think I'm going to glue this on because it's a little loose. Even though it snaps in, I want to glue it in just in case. This is basically specifically necessary to hook this part to the main turret. And like I said before, there's a lot of space here, so space over here as well, where you can drill a hole here and drill a hole in the Yamato kit, and then feed up lines if you want to. And then just snap these two into place here. There we go. And then we have the two side parts here where, well, first of all, let me put them on first and then I'll explain. Let me put this one here. And that pretty much completes the turret. These are the spacings for the clear parts that I've painted already clear green. Here it is. But I'm not going to remove these from the tree yet. I'm going to wait until I'm finished painting it all, and then once I'm done, then I'll put it on. And I may have, you know, didn't think about that in the other parts. See, the gun turrets go up and down. There's one noticeable thing, and I've seen this in the animation. The turrets tend to split out in a way where it looks like that, but in the opposite direction. Don't do this with this kit. It's not meant for that. It will definitely go up a good, maybe, I would say 40-degree angle. I don't know if I can do a 45, but that's where, maybe can. Who knows? Anyway, so these turrets are now done. Let's now move on to the next part of the build. Alright, so now we're at the final stretch and putting on the anti-aircraft guns and some other parts that need to be put on. For starters, I didn't show this on camera because it would have been, really wouldn't matter. These three little wings here, the antenna wings that goes on top of the mast. Gotta be very careful when removing them and sanding them down at the tips so that way they're nice and even. Again, if you ever get a chance to get a sanding sponge or a pad like this, a sanding pad, it's perfect for you for round corners. So that's something you might want to consider when you want to build this kit. Then some of the other guns here, which I'm gonna now glue on because I don't want these things to fall off. I began gluing this one and some of the other frame parts here that I felt like it was moving a lot, so that way, you know, they don't bother me. I'll glue these in a moment. So we have this anti-aircraft gun here, and then we'll put one over here. Again, I'm using Tamiya's extra thin cement, which works well with this. There we go. Keep that into place. And then this one, wouldn't mind spreading it a little bit because there we go. And then let me just flip it over a bit. Get it onto the underside of this. Get into the nooks and crannies, as they would say. And it looks like it's aligned up properly, so I guess it's alright. There we go. That should be good. So I got this side done, and I got this side done. Let me continue on.